All right, ladies and gentlemen of Speed Gaming 2, welcome to another match of the round of 48 of the Super Metroid 2020 100% Item Collection Tournament. My name is Kip, and I am joined tonight by Apathy Duck. Duck, are you there?
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good. We got a fun four-way here. We've got Hero 82 versus MassHesteria on the bottom. So it's a left side versus right side match. And then on the top, we have Bressingham versus Tilimorf. This should be a fun set of races here.
Yeah, it's two separate races going on, so it doesn't matter who finishes first overall. It just matters between the top two and the bottom two. Although there will be bragging rights on the line, of course. So whoever comes in first overall will be able to have that little extra niceness, I guess.
That's true. And we actually have a development as of the last couple of days. The bottom race between Hero 82 and Mass Hysteria has actually got a little bit of extra hype on it because unfortunately, the player that they would have to play, whoever wins that match, they were going to have to play Sephi. And I believe Sephi has had to withdraw from the tournament. So technically, whoever wins this match between these two runners is going to go straight into the top 16.
Yeah, that's makes it a little bit more important to do. Sephi's a really good runner. Would have been tough person to beat. So definitely nice to get a little further ahead in the tournament from that. But it is unfortunate anytime he wants to drop.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Obviously, we hate to see that, but it does happen from time to time, and that's okay. So we will be. Well, part of the reason is it's kind of hard to see the way they've got the four-player format set up here. They've got the comms covering up the prize pool on the layout, which is okay. But the prize pool for this tournament is actually the largest in Super Metroid history by a massive amount, $2,250 total. That will be paid out to the top 8 players. So technically, between Hero and Mass, their next match, whoever wins this, their next match will actually be for money. So pretty exciting. Bressingham and Tilimorf. Why don't we look at the sheet real quick here, Duck, and see what our seeds are for this match?
Yeah, I have it open. So here's the highest seed overall in this race at 22. He's facing Tilimorf with the 42nd seed. Their qualifying time, Heroes was a 124.07, and Tilimorf was a 127.34. So I mean, it seems like a big difference, but like Hundo, like there's a lot that can go wrong pretty easily, and all of a sudden you're losing pretty big chunks of times. But Heroes definitely the favorite in that race. Oh, I'm sorry, that was versus MassHesteria. MassHesteria is at 43, still with a 127.55. And then Bressingham with a 124.10 qualifying time. I believe that's also his PB. Is facing Telemorph as the 127.34. So same thing, just 3 minutes difference. Both players on the left definitely the favorites to win their matches, but like I said, Hundo can go wrong pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would again, kind of like what you were pointing out. They're not all racing each other. It's just two separate matches here. But between the four, I would say that Hero would be favored to win. Um, Not only because I believe he has the best PB time as well as the best qualifier time, but he also is a very experienced tournament runner. He's been in all kinds of leagues and other tournaments and played a lot of people and had some really good performances. So I'm expecting a good performance out of him. But I'm excited. This is going to be fun. I think all four of these players are certainly capable of putting on a solid performance here.
Yeah, I mean Bressingham's been grinding a lot lately. I'm actually gonna pick him to win overall. Again, it doesn't matter, but just for the fun of it, he's gonna be my pick to win overall. He played a lot of randomizer SMZ3. He's been playing the vanilla SM categories lately, and just putting in a ton of time. His time's coming down really fast. So I was in a couple qualifiers races with him, and he was uncomfortably close for most of it. So
Well, it'll be fun to watch. I don't know about Tilimorf and Bressingham in terms of routing, but I'm pretty confident that Hero and Mass will both be doing the early grapple route. Do you know what the other two runners happened to?
Bress, I'm almost positive does early croc. Tilimorf, I'm not entirely sure of.
Okay, well, we'll see. We could end up with everybody doing the same route, and it'll be, fairly easy to see who's ahead and behind at different junctures. If they do happen to split on route, it'll be much more difficult to know for certain until a little bit later in the run. But that's okay. We'll see how it goes here. So, Duck, are you a wall jump climber or a ledge grab climber?
Wall jump. I honestly I thought I was going to be the ledge grab climber, and once I finally started getting good at wall jumps, it's not too bad to do once you start getting just like decent wall jumps in general. I do still do the baby end to the wall jump climb though, not the cool end, whatever that's called.
Yeah, I actually am not sure what that is. I believe that is. Well, I'm not sure where it originated. To be honest with you, because I haven't actually looked too deeply into the wall jump climb. I use the ledge grabs, so I actually am not sure exactly where the wall jump places you near the end versus the way I do mine. So the cool part though is there's actually a lot of different ways to do it, and that's one of the toughest rooms in the game, especially early in the process. So cool to see them all get through there without issue.
Yeah, you can see Bressingham actually coming into this room last. The beginning, this first split is actually one of the harder splits of the entire game. You have to do it every single category, every single time. So, like I said, more of a random player doesn't have quite the experience in this initial split. Again, it's very difficult, but he hasn't lost too much time. So we'll see if he can catch up at all here.
Unfortunately, miscounting there, or might just be that he accidentally hit him with a shot he didn't mean to, but had to sit through that animation of BT losing his head, which takes a little bit of time. But BT is tricky, man. It's tough to get a good BT fight every time.
Yeah, just when you start to really get a feel for it, he starts just not dropping missiles for you, and it makes it even worse.
Unless I'm mistaken, I think this is our first four-way race of the brackets for this tournament, so that's
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
believe it is. I think this is simultaneously the third and fourth race overall. Owl and Bands with Legends played the other day, and then I'm not sure who was the earlier match today. Or sorry, the Owl
Yeah.
match was yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the Al match. He had a nice run and was victorious. I didn't see the other match, but I'm gonna try to catch as many of these as I can. Ooh, Hero accidentally missed that initial mock ball. He recovered just fine though. Although the waivers in the top of the room are probably going to be in a bit of an awkward spot. Not a big deal. It's just going to cost him a little bit of time. He's not going to be able to deboost off the super with the waiver.
Yeah, and smart play by Hero knowing that they were going to be off by doing that morph at the top to avoid getting knocked down and losing any more time.
Right. Correct. These first couple rooms here at in green Brinstar actually take a while because you got to collect. Let's see, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. So
Yeah.
you sit in these rooms for quite a bit here at the start.
Yeah, and we're gonna be coming up on one of the more difficult tricks, probably the hardest mock ball in the game, the reverse mock ball. We'll see if they all even go for it. It can be pretty tricky. It's pretty free to go for if you miss, because you kind of just end up in the same spot anyways. It is very difficult. Looks like Hero gets it very nicely done.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like Hero got a good jump through the door, which is half the battle, but it's not easy to do for sure. It's definitely not an easy trick. It's easy, or it's very easy to miss.
Yeah, Tilimorf getting it too, and then Bressing and Mass both missing it. So they just have to go around. I think it's like a 6-second time loss to not get it. It's significant, but not like enough to like kill your run early on.
Yeah, I think Mass didn't even go for it. It looked like he didn't. I could be wrong, but the way you jump through the door and then how you land has to be a certain way. And so if people aren't familiar with it or don't go for it, they usually kind of just go directly up. But again, not a big deal. Obviously, you don't want to. We could sit here and talk all day long about strats and stuff. Obviously, you're never wanting to purposely lose time, but at the same time, you don't have to go for every single strat, of course.
Yeah, especially in Hundo, like easier in some ways than 80% because you have all the E-tank. You're not really going to die after wreck ship. Kind of getting that gauntlet E-tanks the moment that you're pretty safe on the run. But there's just so many rooms and a lot of difficult strats in all those rooms. It's a very, very hard run. I know some people have mentioned it that it's possibly the hardest category in Super Metroid, which feels wrong, but just because of all the different rooms and all the different strats and all the different movement items you have, can be very challenging to play at a very high level.
Yeah, there's so many categories that have sort of inverse relationships in Super Metroid. Um, I would say that Hundo is in some ways easier as a beginning player. Um, it's easier to run when you're new than 80%, but then I think as you start getting into more competitive times, Hundo becomes um, harder to optimize, although even that statement requires a lot of qualification. So it's a tough category. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of rooms, and there's some give and take because some aspects of Hundo are legitimately easier. The boss fights end up being reduced in terms of punishment in this category, but those are also way smaller portions of the run. So it's interesting. It's a cool run.
Yeah, it's nice to when you're running it to get a 3-cycle Fantoon, just be like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite as bad. So Hero is our first runner to make it into Kraid's lair and into the key hunter room here. Nice little
Pressing
strat
have
there.
a very nice, nice crate entry too. With the I always call that Blockbuster, but I know it's also the Speedball from Green Hill Zone. I think is Blockbuster too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Blockbuster is the strat. The official Blockbuster is the one that you use coming into Red Tower when you have Speed Booster. But I don't know. I don't know what you call it. I just call that the fast crate, fast crate entry or whatever. Maybe it has a name. So I got to ask, just out of curiosity, I've got Twitch chat. Okay, there it is. I haven't seen anybody say anything in the Twitch chat for like 5 or 6, 7 minutes, and then now we got Akari Warrior. So thanks Akari Warrior. Appreciate it.
They're just enthralled by this gameplay. Got 4 SM runners right now. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Indeed. I'm loving this race, man. Look at all 4 of these players grabbing their various suit. Tilimorf from Bressingham right next to one another. Hero opening up a little bit of a lead here on Mass. Although I will say I don't really like to get too worked up over leads in this category until, especially if you're doing early croc. I'd like to see once people collect grapple beam. I think that's kind of a better indication of how it's going because upper north fairs can be so tricky, and also croc can waste a lot of time. So we'll see how it goes when we get there.
Yeah, and again, just from Bressingham having so much rando experience, like anyone who plays a lot more vanilla SM has done this like split pretty much in most categories, and you're doing this a lot, so they're going to be a little bit more familiar with it. Bress might just be a little bit more even throughout the entire run, and hopefully we'll be able to make up this deficit here.
I think Bressingham just got his first amount of energy in his reserve tank, which is less of a big deal in this route. If you're playing, it's hard to explain in advance, but if you're executing at a high level and being really good about your strats and energy management and wreck ship, you can get away with not really needing any in this particular route, but it's still always good to have some. So he's managed to pick some up. Looks like Mass has some. Hero does not, but he probably will get some on his way out. Well, I'll take that back. He might not collect any items from this point to his next missile pack, so we'll see.
Yeah, it also really depends on your Fantoon strat. you'll get a free pause to take off Spazer at some point, because we want it off for mostly for Meridia, for Bot Moon and Dragon. So if you leave Spazer on during Fantoon and do the Doppler strat, then you can do the pause during the Shine Spark, and you'll still waste some time by refilling, because refilling does take time, but it's much less time than just doing a pause that you don't have to do otherwise. So that's what I do. It's a little extra safety in case. I mean, wreck ship can go again. It's a place that can go wrong very quickly, and refilling the ship takes a very long time.
Yeah, and Lomi and Jones pointing out something that I've been saying for a really long time. I won't get into all the particulars of the philosophical discussion now, but the late Crocomire route is the world record route and is definitely faster. However, actually gaining all of the time, or even some of the time that it allows you to gain, is contingent upon a lot of things. A lot of people get kind of focused on the ice clip. That is certainly part of it, but is not, in my opinion, the main part. If you're a newer runner and you're not having an extremely clean wreck ship and you're having to refill at the ship before you do the gauntlet spark, or if you just simply don't have enough to spark, then you're essentially giving away every single thing that you're running a harder route and you're giving away all the time save. So it's complicated, man. There's a lot of options out there, but you gotta execute to get everything that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, the flip of that, like I said, even in this route, skipping the ship refill is not free. You still need to play pretty cleanly. So if you're going to refill either way, then that is another consideration.
That's absolutely true. Look how close all this is, man. All these guys are like, in the same portion of Bubble Mountain together. This is pretty exciting. A Hero has the biggest lead in terms of the two matches at the moment. I'd say he's roughly about 30 seconds ahead, maybe, or maybe 20. But Bressingham and Tilimorf maybe only about, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds apart. It's just pretty good race.
Yeah, definitely tight, but like we said, lots of race left. One of the reasons this is hard is just Super Metroid is a hard game and it's a long category. Just playing at a high level for an hour and 20 minutes is very challenging to do. You're having a little trouble back in single chamber. That's a room that goes poorly quickly.
Fun fact about that Alcoon, which is the name of those kind of like dragon-looking guys that pop out in that single chamber room. You can have like I think you might even can have like plasma by itself on or something and shoot them and they won't die. But if you shoot them with one missile, they'll die. They're and these red pirates are similar. In the room that Hero just went through, they actually have I think a damage multiplier of ×3 for missile damage. So it's funny. They're sometimes in a randomizer, you'll note that people are going through there and shooting them without using missiles, thinking they got enough firepower, and then they don't die. So missiles are always the way with those guys. This is my least favorite part of Hundo right here. If you run the early grapple route, I hate the Crocomire fight so much.
USM players are so fragile with your RNG. This is nothing.
Oh, it doesn't have anything to do with RNG. I hate
it's it. It's just slow too. Well,
it's just awkward. It's just an awkward fight. It seems like it would be easy, but it's actually pretty. It can be simple to miss a shot there. Plus, for what it's worth, it's like, you mentioned RNG. It's really, I think, more about this is a mini boss that doesn't really require a ton of understanding the mechanics, yet it can still kind of go poorly and like lose you a bunch of time. So it always feels worse when you're like, putting all this time and killing these actually tough to fight bosses, and then you come in here and lose a bunch of time to Croc.
Yeah. So if you notice, I assume all of our players did a little angle up shot right over here. What that's actually going to do is wrap around and open this door on the left. It looks like, yeah, and well, Hero unfortunately missed it. But the point is to do a shine spark through there because we're trying to get up to the top left here, where there's will be the first power bombs of this route. So the shine's definitely
Tilimorf
the
got it,
fastest.
and he took the lead.
Yeah, look at that.
By
It
the
shows you
way,
how much that that can lose, and it's pretty tricky shine to get, honestly, if you don't have a good queue.
did you just say you SM runners?
Yeah, look, you know what
Haven't
I
you
mean.
been the guy who's been bragging about his PBs in the chat like 100 times in the
Uh,
last couple weeks?
Bragging just because it's called PB brag doesn't mean I'm bragging about them. Okay.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna be so hype about all your PBs, you might want to refer to yourself as a runner too. You know.
Yeah, you know what I meant. It looks like Hero is not going to be going for the Indiana Jones strat, just opting to get these missiles right here. It's a little. How much do you know? How much of a time loss this is to do
It's
them in a
pretty
second?
significant. It's got to at least be like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I believe Tilimorf is also doing that. Let's see what MassHesteria, and it looks like MassHesteria is going to be attempting the grapple strat. Let's see what Bressingham chooses to do. I think he also will be doing it, although he started a little bit.
Admittedly,
Tilimorf
though, if
missed
you
it.
go for it and miss, it's going to eat up a ton of time. Like,
Yeah,
missing it is
Tilimorf's
terrible.
going to show off why miss. Oh no, sorry, excuse me. Tilimorf went for it second. Oh, Bressingham's going to be doing this shine strat. That honestly, that might be faster than getting them first. That didn't seem all that bad.
Yeah, it's not. Mass unfortunately put his power bomb in the wrong place, got stuck trying to do a short charge, missed, and then finally had to drop the power bomb. So he lost a ton of time right there. But this is one of those rooms where if you just do the wrong thing accidentally, you can really get punished for it. So Hundo definitely has a few rooms in it where the difference between getting what you're going for and missing can be pretty drastic.
Yeah, even just like the optimal strats to do shoot down and do a mock ball through the door. You could just release jump a little too soon and you fall down, getting to grapple, and that takes forever to come back from as well.
Looks like Mass took a little more damage in that acid room than he wanted to. It wouldn't surprise me if he farmed just a little bit. He should be fine now, but sometimes if you get stuck in that room by not doing the deboost correctly, you can kind of get stuck. Tilimorf looking pretty good, heading up Business Center here, and has a probably at least a 12 to 15 second lead on Bressingham at the moment. Hero maybe 40 seconds ahead of Mass at the moment. So still technically anybody's game, but we're starting to see a little bit of a separation here.
Yeah, and in the unofficial race, Hero and Tilimorf are pretty close together.
Oh,
Yeah,
unfortunately, Alpha Spark. That's always a feels bad, man.
at least he didn't get the soft lock.
Hey, man, I would have hated to have seen that. That's happened to me before. I remember the first time it happened, I was like, I had no idea that it existed, and I was just like, what on earth just happened?
Yeah, it's not a very well-known one. I remember the first time I saw it, I was caught off. It didn't happen to me, fortunately. I was watching someone else do it, and I was like, that's new.
Tilimorf is getting a little stuck here, having a little trouble getting up the red tower portion. Hero shot. He finally decided to lay a power bomb. Looks like Mass accidentally missed that Alpha Spark as well. And that's always a bummer when that happens because not only do you not get the strat that you're looking for, but you also kind of get punished because you end up sparking in a place you didn't intend to, and then you got that crash animation, but you didn't get anything out of it. So it's kind of like a double loss. But that's why you got to go for the strat because it's definitely a little bit faster. Oh my God, I can't believe he got up there, dude.
I was about to say he had a very nice red tower climb. He missed the final wall jump, and then barely making it back up the second time. So very nicely done to recover there.
Look at this race between Tilimorf and Bressingham. My goodness, dude, this is exciting.
Yeah, just in this this little segment here, since Croc Bressingham has been able to catch up a fair amount.
Also going to get a little bit back in this room too, because he did some lag reduction right there that Tilimorf didn't go for. So again, Tilimorf is still going to be in the lead coming out of this room, but Bressingham got a little bit back right there.
Yeah, and Hero maintaining his overall lead. Definitely, like you said, probably has the most experience in this race. Really hasn't made any major mistakes, just playing fairly cleanly just throughout, and is maintaining this lead in his race and overall.
And Hero getting his Shine Spark over into the wreck ship. So let's make sure that he remembers to get the first item in wreck ship here. This is actually one of the most dangerous items to accidentally forget to get at this moment, because if you forget to get it now, you can still get it after Fantoon, but the power will be on, so all those spikes will be moving, and we've literally seen runners die there in tournaments and stuff like that, or events, so good to see him not forget. Bressingham and Tilimorf literally only about 4 seconds apart. Very exciting. Mass is getting ready to grab these moat missiles, and then he'll do his short charge to get over into the wreck ship as well, and we'll be on the wreck ship for all 4 players. But I'm really curious to see what we get with the Fantoon patterns here between Tilimorf and Bressingham, because usually Fantoon patterns don't end up being the single difference in a race, but occasionally you get a run where it is, and this is shaping up to be one where it might actually matter.
Looks like, yeah, Hero is going to do the Doppler strats here. Unfortunately, it looks like he got... I didn't see what his first pat... It must have been a fast for him to already be on this. Got a pretty good Doppler on that first one. I think that might have been 6. I guess fast on the second round.
Bressingham looks like he's going for the X Factor strats. Tilimorf was a little bit early on some of his Dopplers in the first round, but had a nice second round there with a fast. And he gets a third fast. Can he convert this? Oh, unfortunate. If he'd have popped that super there, he would have had it for sure. And now he's getting a mid. And but this should finish up. So that cost him. That cost him about 10 to 12 seconds there. And Bressingham is pulled into the lead with a 2-round.
Yeah, I mean, Tilimorf did get the better patterns, but Bressingham was able to just do a very nice 2-cycle there with the X Factor into the little mini Doppler to finish Fantoon off. So very nicely done by Bressingham to take the lead on this race.
Nice X Factor hybrid strat there by Mass. I believe he's going to close out with a, yep, very nice 2-round for Mass. Excellent job, buddy.
And Hero getting his west side, or east side supers, excuse me. I call them west side super because that's what they're on the practice hack, and my brain's busted now. Definitely one of the harder rooms in Rec Shep to do quickly. Although it generally doesn't go, like, it's not going to like kill you in this. Although it can, those spikes, you know, if you mess it up a little bit, you can run into some of the spikes accidentally, cause you a little trouble. But it's probably the hardest room that's also not annoying, because there is the worker robots, which is a very difficult and also annoying room.
So Hero's entering the spiky room of death. His his energy's looking pretty good. Oh,
you had to say it, Kip. Why would you say it in this room?
Oh no.
This is very bad. Yeah,
he's okay. If as long as he just, I mean, this is not a good situation, but as long as he, okay, I was gonna say, as long as he just takes it easy.
Yeah, you just
We
gotta be
should be
very
okay.
careful around these sparks. Yeah, you can see he's being very, very careful right now to not hit any of these sparks. They do 15 damage, I believe, so one would definitely kill him.
I have no idea, but he should be fine as long as he doesn't fall in the water here, which is not impossible, but it's you know you don't normally fall in, so as long as he doesn't fall in right here, okay. He's good. He's good to go. Thank goodness.
Hero probably checking, probably checking the restream, realizing he's got a fairly comfortable lead right now. Just take it easy through that, survive. Like you said, this match has extra weight on it because they're going to basically advance 2 rounds from winning here. So a death here would be very, very poor, especially since again, once you get that gauntlet E-tank, the risk of dying pretty much goes to 0. Although there are still some soft locks, and then of course the dreaded 99.
I will say this though, that allowed Mass to make up some time for sure. That was a very, very slow section for Hero. Now, obviously, he made the right decision, as you pointed out, from a tactical point of view, but Mass is a lot closer now than he was earlier. Looks like Bressingham and Tilimorf are only a few seconds apart. Looks like Tilimorf is going to get prepared for an attic spark.
Yeah, and while I was so concentrating on Hero during that combination of what happened to Hero in the Spike Room of Death, plus Bressingham's very nice 2-cycle, Bressingham has taken the lead here overall.
Not
Not by
anymore.
much. No.
Tilimorf,
Okay.
he had an attic that didn't quite go his way, and
We got 3 runners in worker robots right now.
yeah, I don't like that room. It's not a fun.
I don't think if someone said I like worker robots, like I feel like we would need to have some sort of like psychological evaluation done on them.
Yeah, it's not a fun one. But Bressingham in a way kind of showed earlier that, and I've said this pretty much about every category. Attic is just one of those rooms where it's like if you have a bad one, it can really screw up your entire run. Like if you have a bad attic in any percent, like really any percent old route or new route, but in particular, if you have a bad attic in the Phantom first category, you are in really bad shape. Like you're really in trouble. So this room, man, this room can be a killer.
Yeah, bad attic in new route is just you reset unless you're in a tournament situation. Speaking of new route, looks like Hero's doing some of the new route missile strats there in pre-bowling.
He gets across in 2 very comfortably. Nice job, Hero. And he is going to chill for maybe 30 seconds or so here.
Oh, Bressingham gets the bowling alley spark. Very nicely done. That to me, that is the one of the harder sparks to get just because of exactly where the door is. I can never get it. I'm not gonna say it's the hardest, just because there's some that are very, very short in this game that are obviously harder, but definitely as for like a 2-tap or like a 2-tap, I think is what it is if you do it fairly optimally. Definitely the hardest one that is that long.
And now Mass entering the bowling room as well. So still, a significant amount of time behind Hero here because he's going to have to sit through this cutscene. But I mean, having all 4 players, in the same room here, even though this is a longer room, but having them all here at the same time is really an indication of a nice race here.
Yeah, it looks like all have good enough health to skip the ship. Oh, Bressingham might be a little because he already menued, so he doesn't have the free menu available to fill his reserves. He can still do it depending on how much is in there. But Bressingham is definitely on the edge of not being able to do it.
Look at this, man. We got 3 people in the gravity room at the same time. You gotta love it.
Yeah, but Hero's in great shape health wise. Definitely has plenty just to go straight past the ship without any concerns. We'll see what Bressingham and Tilimorf decide to do. They're obviously not, especially because they're not actually racing Hero. They're both on low health. Each other.
Woo! Bressingham with the strats, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see that? My goodness.
I don't know. I saw mock ball, not bounce ball. That's that deadly
Ah,
transition.
oh, you love to see that. That was some hype stuff right there. That was an
Oh.
excellent.
Oh no.
mock ball.
Oh no. Okay, he did. Okay, I thought he sparked a little too far to the left. That's an interesting way to conserve health there. I never considered doing that, but should give Bressingham just enough health to get across. And Tilimorf did opt to take the refill. Another downside of doing the X Factor Fantoon is that the wraparound shot does become pixel perfect. Yeah, and Bressingham is going to opt to refill here. So it's a little unfortunate, but still better than going to the ship.
Win is 100% randomizer. I'm afraid you missed that one, Lemon. That was called SM Rat.
One of the reasons I like all the deboosts in the back of Gauntlet is you just went through about 6 or 7 minutes of being like very, very particular with your health to all of a sudden just not caring at all and just taking damage from acid and taking all these deboosts off spikes. It's kind of cathartic after going through those last few minutes. Oh, Bressingham came very close to not getting the second missile, but is able to recover and is able to get it.
What's that room called with the Kegos in it right before the elevator?
The room right before the elevator with the Kegos in it.
Yeah, does it have a name?
No, I think that's the name.
That room is really annoying in Hundo the second time because you got speed booster and high jump boots, and so you got to get like a very specific jump to get across the room correctly, and it just feels so terribly when you accidentally run into the Kego. Mushroom Kingdom. You know what? If that's not the official name, it is now.
Actually, I think
love it.
Yeah, I think that is actually.
Somebody needs to log into the wiki and change that right now. Mushroom Kingdom it is. All right. Well, Hero going through a room that actually it's not really that hard, but it can be kind of annoying. Plus, somebody in chat needs to correct me on this, but because I've never tested it, it just feels this way after a lot of practice and runs. It feels like if you have one of those hopper guys on you, the beat'ems in a door transition, it eats up your door transition time.
It does. It has to do with the audio processing. So you definitely want to get them off you if it's not going to waste too much time. Bressingham actually had a very nice one of those rooms. Going for if you just like kind of do standing deboost, you won't make it all the way to the door. You have to kind of like run forward a bit and get those deboosts. And Bressingham was able to just completely nail it. That's very impressive. Those deboosts are very difficult to do.
Ooh, nice strat by here. I always think that's cool strat. You know, honestly, one thing I gotta say about Super Metroid is it's kind of sometimes when you play the game a lot and you start playing at a certain level, it can like sometimes lose the magic of some of the strats because some of these strats are really cool and they're really fun, and it's like you just get to the point where you have to get them to get, you know, or you really want to get them to get the times that you're after. But it's like sometimes you forget like how cool they are. And I love that little dropping the power bomb, sparking at the top of that big pink room. That's a fun one to see. Looks like Hero's having to reset the camera here.
Yeah, and I don't think Hero uses Moonfall or Moonwalk, so I'm gonna have to completely run to the left to reset it.
So let me explain something real quick. This is small, okay? I'm not saying that this is about to be a completely terrible result for Hero. And it's not going to look like it because he just picked up another super missile pack to get to 9 here. But he fired like 6 or 7 supers before he got the one to connect to get that trick to get into this room. And he's not going to be short on supers in terms of like not being able to finish a run or whatever. But supers actually still matter in Hundo. There are times where it would be very helpful to have them. And again, it's not going to end his run, but like it could be that ends up costing him a little bit of time he could be faster in certain places, depending on what happens.
Yeah. Is he gonna get another super drop before Meridia? Because the big thing is the Fantoon into Dragon, or not Fantoon, excuse me, Bot Wound, because you need you want 7 at a minimum, right? Coming into
He's going to
Meridia.
get 2 super packs before he fights Botwin, or at least 2, possibly
right.
3, depending on when he routes in the Aqueduct supers. Most people route them in after Botwoon. I used to actually get them beforehand. It's a little bit slower. I think I timed it at like 3 or 4 seconds, but it's like easier because you don't have to get a short charge. But that won't really be a problem. It's kind of more about like later on in the run, like maybe even in Lower Norfair against Ridley or possibly in Torian. You know, technically those supers could end up costing a few seconds of time that you could get from a different strat or something, but it's not gonna have a massive impact on the run.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of something coming up soon where it could impact him. But yeah, you're right. He should be fine with those the crab supers and the other one he gets. I can't remember right now. Oh, beat Warring Hole. That's right.
Yeah, and he should get 1 or 2 from Cax along the way. He's probably gonna get 1 here in a minute in this room after Green Hills, and then he's probably gonna get 1 in the Spazer. You know, I don't know I don't even know what the name of that room is. What's the name that's under Spazer? Do we still call it the Spazer room?
I think we just call it Under Spazer.
That's not
That's
very
generally what I
original.
call it. Must have been a Link to the Past player who named that one.
Well, he accidentally did not get the super from that CAC, but again, not a huge deal. But yeah, Bressingham has pulled into a lead here between all 4 runners. Again, just for anybody joining us, it is not a 4-way race. It is 2 separate one-on-one races: Bressingham versus Tilimorf and Hero versus Mass. But it's still fun to discuss it, you know, in the context of all 4 runners doing the same thing, which is neat that we can do this since everybody's running the same category.
Yeah, I mean, Bressingham definitely had the cleanest Brinstar cleanup. All 3 of these runners were pretty much we were all getting gravity at the same time, and Bressingham able to pull a lead here. So yeah, like I said, less significantly that he's got the lead over Hero, but he has opened a fairly sizable gap against Tilimorf, his actual opponent for this race. But again, Meridia is definitely, there's rooms in here where you can just lose a bunch of time. So I mean, we even saw with Hero just that little problem he had in Spiky Room of Death, just having to take it safe. You know, these, you know, when you see a runner's like 3 minutes faster than someone else, it seems like a lot from a speedrun perspective. But in this category, just a couple bad rooms, you know, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, and you're all tied up.
Bressingham using the rando tech there to get up to that energy tank. That's cool. Look at this sync between him and Hero, man. This is very close. And Mass is entering Meridia, so once again, we have all 4 runners in the same section. He's not that far apart. I think every one of these runners, I could be wrong about that. Oh, I like that, Mass. Nice little strat there. I think all of them went up to the top to get that short charge, but Mass was the only one that I saw that did the spin jump activation before hitting the ground. So he saved a little bit of time there. I like that. Nice job.
Now getting the crab supers, which can be kind of a difficult item to find casually. You can see them in this room in Main Street here, and really the only hint the game gives you is this little crab coming out of the wall. Just do a nice little morph in there, jumping up this wall to roll in there.
A lot of great Shine Spark opportunities in a lot of rooms in Meridia because of how big. I could, again, I've never actually thought about this and tested it, but I'd be willing to bet that Meridia has the most big rooms in the game. Like, there's just so many rooms that are like really big in Meridia. So that's some great potential for Shine Sparking. And there's a lot of Shine Sparks in Meridia.
Yeah, the most useful one being the one that we just saw. Most of our runners do the Mount Everest shine. It just allows you to get to the top without needing grapple or anything. We do have grapple because they did early croc, but it's still faster just to shine up there. But I don't know, probably one of the more like famous tricks from like an 80% speedrun perspective.
I really like the strat Hero ran coming into this room against those little eyeball creature looking flying little guys. He had his missiles ready when he came in with an angle up and then shot both of them. There's a lot of different strats to run in that room, but that was a cool one. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Bressingham just doing a nice job with the wall jumps off those missiles. It's actually a little tricky to do unless you haven't practiced it a bunch. I'm just impressed with Bressingham. He's doing a lot of strats that I'm struggling to still get good and consistent. So he's having a really good show here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. All four of these runners playing well. Obviously, you're never going to get every single strat you go for in a run. And every runner is going to find areas to, struggle in a run. But overall, man, I think these guys are playing real well. This is a lot of fun to watch.
Bressingham and Hero literally frame for frame coming into Bot Moon here.
Yeah, this is crazy, dude. Literally, like.
And you can see, I was going to say, Hero went all the way back to kind of avoid the short charter for Bot Moon there. But Bressingham just got hung up on just like one of the pieces there, and they managed to still stay frame for frame through the Bot Moon fight. Let's see these full halfies here.
Did Hero just bonk that door?
I don't think so. Oh,
yeah, he did.
You're right.
Yeah, that can happen. I don't know. It's very specific. There's like just a few places where you can shoot and, like it'd be really close. So I don't know exactly where the pixel is where that starts, but I'm sure he was only off by just a small amount. That's always it feels bad, man.
And yeah, MassHesteria doing what you were mentioning earlier, getting these missiles before Dragon. Is there any real benefit to doing this? Like even from like a beginner standpoint, like you have plenty of ammo.
Yes, there's a benefit. If you miss the short charge to get the if you do the aqueduct thing later and you miss the short charge,
oh right, yeah, that
is. Then you basically break even. If you miss it twice, then you lose. And it just comes down to how comfortable are you with the short charges.
I forgot that short charge is a little tricky, a little tight.
Yeah, so I think Mass is an IRL friend of mine. A lot of the stuff that he does has been based on some of my suggestions and stuff. I don't remember if I suggested that to him specifically, but I do think it's a good alternative. It's just one less thing you got to practice.
Yeah, it looks like Hero unfortunately missed his second short charge here. Bressingham with a 2-spark though. That is incredibly well done by Bressingham there.
Yeah, that was hot.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, he's going to collect the drops here, which isn't really necessary in Hundo. He's just opting to keep. Well, I guess he was going to opt to keep the blue suit, but looks like just converted it to the shine there. Oh no, but he still has it.
Dragon's tough fight, man. Something I alluded to earlier, though. One thing about Hundo, we're actually seeing it right now from Tilimorf, and there's other options depending on where you end up kind of quote unquote failing the fight or messing it up. But Dragon, it still stinks when you mess the fight up in Hundo, but you have way more leeway to not get punished nearly as badly in Hundo as you would in like any percent, for example, because you have so much more ammo and you also have grapple. And so again, while you might lose some time, it will not be nearly as drastic. You
Yeah,
can recover a lot easier.
that and I mean chain damage. We were discussing this earlier in Discord. You can still kill yourself in Hundo with chain damage, although it is much harder. So generally, you don't worry about it at nearly as much if you take a couple extra hits after killing Dragon.
Yo, I think Tilimorf got the Wumple jump.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know why, but man, I'm telling you straight up, I've attempted that strat. Like if you go back to my old route days and then also include Hundo and I believe like GT Classic or whatever, I cannot get that strat, man. That is it's so hard.
It's funny that like people have certain strats because I find that strat actually to be pretty easy. I'm pretty consistent at it. You're definitely a much better runner at you, so it's always funny to hear people which strats they have difficulty with. Although again, you know, it's not a strat used too much nowadays with going for spike suit or even the. I mean, you do like the womple jump if you have a spike suit. You do like the womple into the shine optimally, but it's not nearly as big of a deal.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what it is, man. There's just certain strats where I don't know. I just don't. I don't like them for whatever reason. But Mass got the blue suit here. Hopefully he'll be able to convert this over.
Yeah, I don't think anyone went for the spike suit. Bressingham and Mass both going for the blue suit. Really, the only difference between the two.
But he didn't have a blue suit to begin with, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bressingham not in power bombs coming to Shaq. Hopefully he switches over quickly enough. All right, good. That is a nightmare if Shaq ever collides with that right wall. If you're just not paying attention.
Duck, which one is the worst weight? Shack Tool or bowling?
Oh, Shaq tool, because you still have to like touch the controller slightly. Like bowling, you can just put the controller down, take a drink of water. Like Shaq tool, you sort of have to pay attention still, especially if you go for this little the snail boost at the end here. So Shaq tool is definitely way worse.
Well, Bressingham has pulled into a lead here. Tilimorf entering the Shack Tool room. And Hero shortly behind Bressingham here, but still, in terms of his match with Mass, in a very dominating position at the moment. He's got to at least be a minute ahead or so. And he's going to continue on and grab these Kraid missiles, probably. That was a nice
Yes,
there.
There's no way that was on purpose, but if it was, that was pretty sick. Yeah, that Shack, leaving Shack tool, you fall down in the sand, and especially if you start panicking a little bit, you can lose just a bunch of time there, and it just feels terrible. But yeah, as far as like overall race goes, Hero's definitely in a pretty comfortable spot here. Kind of getting to the point where something pretty disastrous would have to happen to him to allow Mass back into this race. The Bressingham and Tilimorf match, however, a little bit closer. Like I said, stuff can go wrong, and especially with Bressingham being a little bit less of a veteran of this than the other runners. If he gets himself into an awkward situation, may end up losing a good chunk of time.
I don't like sand. It's coarse.
Oh no.
What's the rest of that quote?
No. I'm not even going to acknowledge that this is happening.
Why? Well, you got against Star Wars, man.
Oh my god. Do you want to talk about it for the rest of this match? Because I can.
Sure. Tell me how you feel, man. Hit me up.
It's not good. It's not good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, that Bressingham strat was looking tight. I think just barely missed on that shot, but great attempt. And now we're about to have a couple of the real cool rooms here.
Yeah, I learned a lot of hundo from Sloters, especially because he's got the best early croc route, so I use his PB. Of course, there's what that does mean is there's a bunch of moonfalls I don't actually know about, like that one coming out of plasma. I was like, oh, you can moonfall there.
You learned hundo from Sloters?
Yeah, he did like a PB review a while back for me. So I'm waiting for Zenny to catch up on the tutorial to learn where these moonfalls are.
Hey man, if you learn from Sloters, how's your time so bad?
Because I learned from Sloters.
I'm just joking. Yeah, Sloters. What does he have? I think the second fastest early grapple time on the board right now. Is that correct?
I think it's the fastest. Who's faster than him?
I
He's got
think
116.
Static's got a 115 early grapple. I'm pretty confident Statics is an early grapple. I could be wrong about that, but either way, Sloters' time is very, very fast, and he's got a lot of stuff that you can learn from for sure. Static's time is. I'm just going to guess this. I could be wrong. I'm pretty confident he put his time on Deer Tier, but I don't think he put it. He might not have put it on SR6.
Oh, that's might be why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and Seffi bringing up, I think Jack has a 115 hundo. I don't know if it's ever been uploaded to the board though. But the one cool thing about like early grapple is you really do get to use a lot of cool grapple strats if you're inclined to. There's a lot of rooms where you can do some cool grapple stuff. I don't use it as much as I should. I just haven't kind of worked out the kinks on the category yet, but
You're still early grappling?
Oh yeah. I not to get into this for too deep because obviously we're trying to focus on the race, but basically like I really don't like Croc, and I would love to run
Yeah.
late grapple with the plasma shot, but the amount of time that it would take me to work on a lot of the things I would need to make the route faster, like right this second, I'm not really worried about grinding the category, so I'm kind of more concerned with cleaning up the general parts, and maybe at some point down the line I'll look at it, but there's some cool stuff with early grapple though.
Well, I'll have to peep your run to figure out where these hidden moonfalls are.
Yeah, Zenny and Behemoth in particular. I'm not as familiar with Zos Run right now, but Zenny and Behemoth have added a lot of cool moonfall stuff over the last year or so.
Yeah, there's still a lot. I mean, a lot of the moonfalls are just saving in the range of like 10 to 15 frames, and unless you're doing them very well, like a lot of those, I just end up just not going for because they end up being pretty difficult.
Very impressed right now with Bressingham. Tilimorf is playing well. Like Tilimorf is having a nice run here. Bressingham has just really started to execute at a very nice level here and has started to kind of pull away. Doesn't mean he will maintain this lead, but he's pulled into a pretty significant lead here. And then Hero is also, in a commanding position. But the thing is Mass and Tilly are playing well. So again, man, this has been a joy to watch. These guys are really bringing it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, let this serve as a warning to anyone to the upper half of the bracket. Like a lot of the players at the bottom half of this round of 48. Like when you have a lower time, it's much easier to PB, especially because you're just learning maybe your strats aren't as refined. You tend to improve a lot faster. So if you're in the upper half of the bracket, you better expect your opponent to be PB in those runs, and it really doesn't take to have that much for you to have a sloppy run, and all of a sudden you're very close and in danger of getting an upset. Oh no, Bress.
Oh no.
This happened to me the other day. It is the worst. Why do the blocks not break on top and bottom like that. That was like that happened to me, and I was like, what happened there? I guess that's where he space jumped through, and he didn't. The blue.
He probably jumped and then accidentally landed before going all the way through.
Yeah, but again, like that probably lost maybe like 10 seconds, if not more. Like, that stuff definitely adds up very quickly.
It does. Tilimorf doing a nice strat there. Like a nice sort of friendly beginner strat where one thing I love about the mechanics of SM is like if you hold down angle up or down and you let go of the D-pad, you will stop on a dime. And he used that to stop on that little ledge in that missile room and then jumped right across. So a little bit slower than if he were to shoot it and then jump across. I like this by Mass too. He got a short charge here and then he's going to fly across again. That's a little bit slower, but again, it's safe and you won't fall. So I really love all the options we got here. Hero 82.
Yeah,
Bressingham might have done it too, but Hero got the nice entry.
Bressingham almost his spring ball is a little short, so he got the thing where he was able to spring ball across, but fell into lava. That's not that big of or the acid. It's not that big of a time loss, but Hero definitely caught up a little bit there.
I like that Bressingham strat with the spring ball at the end of that room too. That was nice.
People say the spring ball strat is safe, but I fell through today, so I don't know how safe it is. Mostly because I let go of a jump for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I was referring to the previous room, but I got you.
I didn't even go around. I'm like, I'll just take my 99. It's fine.
Yeah, if I miss that missile pack, then it's GG, baby.
I think. Oh, okay. I was a little confused where Bressingham and Hero both were with the missile.
Yo, peep this door transition on Bressingham real quick. I'm gonna make a quick point of that about this room. All right, so this is gonna be a convoluted point, but
Go on.
Technically, it is faster to like you have to set it up correctly though. There's a lot of parts that strat is a multi-room strat. It is technically faster to not shine spark up that room, but you actually have to be very precise with your jumps with screw attack to actually make that room faster, and part of it has to do with the different types of door transitions. So anyway, there's a lot that goes into different rooms and different strats. Sometimes I find it really fascinating. Sometimes I will see people go for what is technically the faster strat, but the way they do it doesn't actually make it faster. It actually makes it slower than the other option. So it's really interesting. Like, it's really, really fascinating to watch the nuances of strat development and strat choice.
I go for the other thing is with that shine, you can only like just barely break the very last block, and it'll actually give you more run speed, and it'll make this room that Tilimorf's in right now, it'll also make that room faster because your space jumps will be a little bit faster. So like what's faster depends on like 3 rooms there. Right. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, I think that like it's not even like some players just like hear something's the fastest strat and they just kind of go for it without timing for themselves. Some of it is just knowledge where it's like you hear something's the optimal strat and you kind of go for it and you don't even know about the other strats. There's so many different strats you can do in this game. It's crazy.
It certainly is. But man, look how close Bressingham and Hero are, man. This has been. Again, they're not racing. I just want to keep saying that to anybody who comes in who wasn't here earlier. So technically, it doesn't matter between the two who wins, but it is fascinating to watch. But man, Mass and Tilimorf are definitely not far behind. And we're over an hour in. I mean, we're almost an hour and 5 minutes in almost. I mean, like this is really cool, man.
About to kill our 4th boss here. Well, 4th golden boss. I mean, we have the mini bosses as well. Oh, the Never Spore spawn. That is the loneliest boss in all of gaming.
Behemoth would not be at G4 yet. Close. but not quite. If he was at G4 right now, he would be having we'd have a 110 on our hands probably.
Yeah.
And that's a few minutes faster than what we currently can get.
I mean, it really is crazy, like the skill level in this game. Like, these are 4 pretty good runners that have put a lot of time into this. And like Behemoth is still 10 minutes faster than them, and me 5 minutes faster than you. Like, it's crazy, just how good you can get at this game.
It certainly is. There's so much optimization. It's pretty incredible, man. Pretty incredible. The skill ceiling of this game is very unique. There not that many games of retro speedrunning that have the type of ceiling that this game has. Again, it doesn't necessarily make it better than any other game, but there's just so much nuance to this. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I got Rishon with those for the qualifiers, and I respectfully asked if they're going to do that again to also put someone playing it casually with on the restream with me
Right.
for balance.
And some nice Ridley fights. In this category, since you have the full beam combination, you just need 20 shots. Although technically, if you can sneak in some supers, because 3 supers counts for 2 charge shots, and it's faster and in some ways safer to get those in because of how you can still miss a charge shot with by hitting the tail or something. But usually players will add a few more supers into that fight if they can, but it's still pretty fast in comparison to other categories.
Yeah, I haven't been doing too much. Mostly it's the counting just screws me up. Like, unless he's just pogoing and I know he's close, I can just pump a couple in. Just knowing exactly when he's dead and you can end the fight is pretty important. Again, one of those things that just because it's optimal, like it's hard to actually make it faster if you're. It's not necessarily something you should just like casually huck a couple supers in, because you may just be losing time over doing a full beam fight if you're not practicing it and timing it.
That's right. Bressingham continuing to put some distance between himself and the rest of the competitors. I would say he's probably a minute plus ahead of Tilimorf right now. Maybe 30 seconds or so ahead of Hero, ballpark maybe a little bit less than that. Mass cleaning up Ridley, so we're in the final home stretch for all these runners.
Yeah, at this point, both our top seeds are looking fairly safe, despite Tilimorf and MassHesteria having very nice runs for them. Both our top seeds just kind of taking care of their business, not losing really big chunks of time anywhere, and all 4 of them are just having a nice solid run.
For sure, and just for anybody out there that might not be quite as tuned in to the Super Metroid scene, it is without question possible for an underdog to defeat a favored player. However, it is without question less likely to happen in this tournament than the other tournaments we've had over the last few years. The way Hundo works as a run, you'll just have to kind of take my word for it. It's the least likely for there to be a massive difference between performance potential and actual performance, and there's way less chance for people to die. It's very difficult for a runner who's significantly behind PB time to have an opportunity to catch up to another player. So I'm not saying we won't see an upset at some point. It might even be me at some point, but it's definitely less likely to happen here than it would be in like an 80% tournament or rando or something like that.
Yeah, and also it just depends on obviously the gap. The match later tonight will be. I mean, it's like I think what are their seeds? Tilimorf and Mass. Hero is 22 and Bressingham is 23. So they're at the top, like towards the top of this That's just the top 16 at a bye, so it's the lower 32 facing off against each other. So there's like 14 spaces between these seeds. If you get closer to players that more towards the middle, those matches are gonna be much closer and have a much better chance for an upset. It also depends on just especially in this time, these overall times. Just a player who's been practicing all week can shave off minutes from what their qualifying time was.
Oh, that's what I got to do to get a better time. I've been
Yeah,
I've just been thinking about Hundo for the last like 3 weeks in a row and not really playing, and I haven't really been improving much. So you're saying that I just need to practice?
yeah. Actually, can you keep down the down low? Because if I win my first match, I get to play Fuzda, and he's playing Crusader Kings a lot right now, and I kind of want him to keep doing that. So just don't let him know.
Hey man, don't poke the bear now.
I'm also playing Crusader Kings, so
Foozed is a guy who's been having fun casually in Super Metroid for the last couple years, but I'm telling y'all straight up, for real, if he wanted to, like if he were motivated to do so, that dude could knock the rust off and start running some sick times pretty quickly. He's a gamer now.
Honestly, I'm a little worried the potential, the thought of losing to me might awaken something in him a little bit. So we're kind of entering this final little cleanup here. We're going to be going through Retro Brinstar. These are actually some very difficult rooms, although they're really only difficult once you start doing like the very hard strats. Like a lot of players around this time level just kind of find something that works. They're very complicated rooms with a lot of weird geometry. So we'll see what kind of strats we got coming up here, but a lot of difficult strats that you can do, although they're so difficult that most players aren't really attempting the real high end ones.
Nice fix on that door by Bressingham there. Oh, Hero accidentally getting stuck inside that gate. It's actually possible. You know what? It's hard to explain, man. I don't really know. It's like a Kago, but not really. I don't really exactly know the mechanics as to why it happens, but you can kind of get stuck in it. So he had to drop a power bomb there to get it to open.
Yeah, Bressingham winning the power bomb there. I'm not even sure if more of a randomizer player, if he's even aware that generally most players will lay that power bomb earlier, so you don't have to worry about it coming back through here. Or he just missed it early. It's a possibility. I honestly forgot that was a power bomb door because you're just so used to having it blown up.
Yeah, that's true. Usually you never see it in its orange face.
Yeah, Bressingham with a nice little speedball there into this room over here. The retro Brinstar E-Tank room.
Who's ready for some John Cena, Billy Mays action?
We got to get a bot that plays the John Cena theme in here.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what that theme sounds like.
And let's turn the unintentional X-ray usage counter to 1 for Tilimorf. This is a category that will get you very comfortable with that item cancel button.
Yeah, turning on X-ray when you don't intend to is always, it feels bad, man. That's for sure.
I'm so happy it's optimal to get X-ray nearly at the end of the run in this. If like you were supposed to do like half the run with X-ray on, this category would be unironically much harder.
Yeah, I agree.
And whenever it comes up an early X-ray route, just gonna ignore that.
I don't really get why they call this the Billy Mays room though, because like, what do these 2 missiles have to do with the ShamWow?
Well, first of all, ShamWow was not Billy Mays.
Please,
You
Doug,
picked-
please don't actually explain it. Come on, man. I was earlier. I was going to try to make a Stone Cold joke for the John Cena room, but then at the last second, I was like, I don't know if I can pull this off. So I had to do something else.
Yeah, Bressingham just finishing up the last couple of items here. I don't. Ooh, yeah, that's unfortunate. He should be able to get the short charge here, though. Yeah, he does. Very nice. I don't think anyone's missed anything. With a 4-way race, it's a little bit harder to make sure everyone's done everything. But I haven't seen any odd.
Yeah, I haven't
so
noticed anything. I'd be surprised if people didn't have the appropriate number at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in a tournament and you start once you start running the category over and over again, you're much less likely to skip something just because all the strats and everything. You start just autopiloting through everything. Honestly, the most if you have to back up and do something. I had one where I got the Hoda Ruby special, skip the missile, and then you should just come around, which is faster. And I just forgot to come around. Something like that is really the most likely way you're going to miss.
That'll do it. All right, and Bressingham closing in on the old G4.
Yeah, at least for our unofficial race between Bressingham and Hero, which again does not actually matter. It's left versus right here. Hero could catch up if he gets the baby skip and Bressingham misses it. Maybe a little bit bigger of a gap than that. It's about 30 seconds if you miss it.
Yeah, man, but what if they missed the baby skip?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get ahead of chat. They are.
That's what I was saying.
Both Hero and Bressingham are way further ahead than the amount of time that missing baby skip would count. However, I will tell you this: if you're not prepared for it and you don't handle it correctly, baby skip miss in Hundo can actually be significantly worse than in other categories. Because in my first qualifier, I actually was I think I was leading the race. And I missed baby skip, and then I kind of tilted and forgot what to do, and I just sat there and watched my energy go down really low, really slowly. So it took a lot more time than it would have been 80%.
Oh, do you not turn off Varia when you turn off Spazer?
I didn't on that one because I was just like, oh, I missed it. I'm pissed.
Bressingham had a very nice Metroid, just one room here.
Dude, did you see those power bomb drops? Bressingham got 5 power bomb drops in that room. That's crazy, dude.
Somewhere a low percent runner, a low speed runner sheds a tear.
There's only one low speed runner, and that's FSG. So I guess if FSG is upset, then sure. So at this point, every runner should have 100 items. So that's exciting.
God willing.
Matt's just got his last one.
So it'll be interesting to see with both Bressingham and Hero here have a fairly comfortable lead. Really, the only thing that could really make them lose this match is a soft lock on stand up. So we'll see if they both decide to go for it or just sort of take the knee here and take the win that way. Part of it's going to depend on whether they think they can still PB. I know Bressingham has a 124. I think he's kind of right in that range right now. Hero's got a much better PB. I think with he's got a 123.41.
Bend the knee, if you will. What do we got here from Bressingham? What kind of Zeb? Oh, is it going to be the spring ball Zeb skip? All right. Love to see it.
Yeah, I've been turning off screw attack for this just because I haven't practiced any of these skips, and today I finally learned the spring ball skip and the down back skip.
Yeah, spring ball is pretty easy. I'm not a huge fan of the down back skip myself, but it works for it works real well for some people. But it's just not. It doesn't feel right to me, so I don't go with it. I always do the spring ball one.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't waste too much time to go for it and then just back up into the spring ball. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Until I get mad at it and just stop trying.
As if on cue, I feel like I commentator cursed Hero because he missed the down back Zeb skip, as I mentioned that.
That's twice you've cursed him now. Mr. saying he's got plenty of health as he's in Spiky Room of Death. That's...
Well, I was right. He took a ton of damage and didn't die.
You were right. You were right, I guess. So Bressingham is going to be going for the stand-up. There's... I kind of say this is one of the things where there's like 5 do's and 500 don'ts. It's not really all that difficult once you know what to do, but there's just a lot that can go wrong. They do have X-ray that gets you out of some of the problems. But there are a couple soft locks, like bringing the baby up too high, that can cause a soft lock for you. So, we'll see what Hero decides to do. Hero's setting up for the stand-up glitch. One of the interesting things about stand-up is it's not only how many shots you can pump into Mother Brain, but like the baby is actually taking damage from those onion rings. So if you're not managing the cutscene properly, you can actually give back a lot of the time that you were saving. So we'll see how many of these onion rings that Bressingham gets on the baby. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job so far. He did have a little freeze on his screen though. Not completely out of the woods yet. There is one fine.
I was literally just about to say, and he's fine now, but he still lost some time. I was just about to say. It can happen
again.
Do what?
It can happen again.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say though, you got to be careful. I see people playing that a little fast and loose sometimes, and I'm like, bro, why are you giving yourself this opportunity? But it only ended up costing him a couple seconds. They're not a big deal.
Yeah, I usually cut it off pretty early to prevent the really nasty one at the end there.
I believe Bressingham's going to have a pretty comfortable time that in terms of, unless he just has some kind of catastrophe on the way out, this should beat his best qualifier time by quite a bit here. Very
I think it's going to be a PB. I want to say his PB right now is a 24:10. I don't think he's gotten the 23 yet. Should be on pace for one, I believe. I'm really bad at knowing exactly how much time the escape takes. I know it's a little over a minute.
I think for me, it's usually somewhere between, like, if I have like a really good one, maybe like 110 or something. Usually it's more like 112 or something. Do what?
120 for humans then?
I don't have one of the better escapes, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly when he started, but he's looking to have a nice
clean here. Nice clean parlor. That parlor is very difficult with all the shaky camera thing. Yeah, I can definitely say this is definitely a 123. All right, so Bressingham coming in first in his race and first overall with a official SRL time of 1:23:35. I do believe that's a PB for him.
Great race, great performance, and he'll be moving on to the round of 32. Very nice. And Tilimorf not far behind. And Hero also finishing here with an official SRL time of something. What is it, Doug?
1:24:10. Which, yeah, is just 3 seconds slower than his qualifying time. So Hero playing consistently, if nothing else. Doing really nice. And again, it's not too far off his actual PB. And we're now joined by the winner of his race and overall, Bressingham. GG's to you.
Thank you, GG.
So that's a PB for you overall? Yes.
Yes.
All right.
About
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Very, very nice. I thought you had like a 1:24:10 or something like that. Definitely hot on my heels too, which is making me a little nervous. But very, very nicely done. You were my pick to win overall. Had me a little nervous early on. You were actually in last place heading into Uvaria. I was just hoping that was the. It's like, well, he plays a lot of rando. Maybe he's not used to these first couple splits as much. But you had a lot of strats that you pulled off from that. Very nicely done. So congrats to you.
Yeah, the early game was rough. I was really nervous, and that's basically all. I was just sort of choking everything. But
yeah, I think you sort of took the initial lead in Wreck Ship. You had the nice 2-cycle Phantoon, the X Factor, and then Hero had you weren't racing him, but at least for the 4-way. Hero had a little trouble in Spiking Room of Death, thanks to Kip over here with the commentator's curse. Was able to get through it though. But yeah, I just got just played like that mid to end game, which is very clean, and able to take it down.
Okay, so first of all, GG Bressingham, and congratulations on your victory. That was a great run. I do want to take a quick moment to point out that looks like Bressingham got a PB, Tilimorf got a PB, and MassHesteria here is closing in on a PB, I believe, by maybe even over a minute. I think all three of these times also beat their best qualifier time. So, holy cow, dude! 3 out of 4 runners with straight PBs.
I'd hope they beat the qualifier time. That's just a problem.
Good grief. Do what?
I said if they're PBs, I hope they beat the qualifier time. Otherwise, there's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, but I'm just pointing out that, like this is kind of an interesting situation. Like just beating your qualifier time is very good, but also getting a PB is pretty crazy. So big congratulations to you guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, we should be joined by the rest of them. Here.
Come on in, everyone.
I think we're now joined by your opponent, Tilimorf. GG's to you.
There we go. GG's, thanks.
Hey, nice run. Basically I don't know how much of the restream you're watching, but for the first half, like especially up to Wreck Ship, you, Hero, and Bressingham were all in gravity at the same exact time. So it was a really good race up to then. Bressingham was able to take a lead, kind of like in the Brinstar cleanup, and just kind of didn't give it up at that point. But me and Kip were both very impressed by your run overall. You getting a very nice PB. You said I think by over a minute. You said.
Yeah, it was 3 seconds away from a 2-minute personal best.
Oh yeah, that's a huge PB.
Monster run.
Yeah, very very nicely done.
As long as it's 100%.
Yeah, we do have confirmation from Bressingham and Hero for 100%. We were saying 4-way race, it's a little bit harder to notice if anyone skipped anything, but especially in the tournament setting, everyone's kind of grinding this. Probably not missing anything.
Also, welcome into Mass. Mass, excellent run. You PB'd by over a minute too, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. GG, excellent run. And we also are joined by Hero. Congratulations, Hero, on the run. All four of you, really, very impressive tonight. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks.
Yeah, GG, Hero.
Thanks, Mass.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the restream at all, so I'm excited to watch it all back, especially with how close all four of us finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all were going to enjoy watching it back. That was a fantastic four-way race.
I looked over just a couple times the restream, and I saw that Bressingham and I had like synchronized bot wound kills, and then I just completely fell apart.
Yeah, you guys were frame for frame for a while in Meridia. Also, here I just have to let you know, as you were entering Spike Room of Death, Kip said you have plenty of health and he should be fine. So, if you want to get mad at him,
No,
Hey,
no,
now,
no, it's
I
okay.
pointed out I was correct because he took a lot of damage and he still survived. So good job.
No, this is a PSA. Do not ledge grab the Kazons.
yeah,
And I know better, but I was like, you know what? It'll be faster if I do.
yeah, I know too, and I keep doing it accidentally. I'm just like it's so hard not to ledge grab all of a sudden when
Because-
we're so used to doing it everywhere.
Because of the water physics, when you ledge grab the Kazons, it can force like some uninterruptible crap, and you can actually K-go through them, and that's exactly what happened. And then I got stuck on the spikes, and my reserve popped, and I was like, well, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, very nicely. I mean, you were at 5 health there. Even any damage from those sparks would have ended your run. So just like nice job getting through there, kind of recovering, keeping calm. I don't know if you were watching the restream and all that, and knowing you had a little bit of a lead, you could use some of that time to play it safe. But just
Real quick, I got a couple of questions here. We just got the fourth confirmation for Mass, so we got all four players with 100%. I want to ask Bressingham and Hero a couple questions about, moving on to the next round. But before I get to that, I want to let Tilimorf and Mass get some perspective from you guys. Fantastic tournament for y'all. You qualified for the top 48 players and had a fantastic showing tonight. Can the two of you guys just tell us a little bit about your experience in the tournament, and did you have fun running some hundo for the last couple of weeks?
I guess I'll start, but I loved this, just seeing the tournament and like seeing on SpeedGaming constantly the personal best that everyone was posting over the qualifiers just inspired me to practice a little more. So I'm excited that I did well and got a personal best, and I'm happy about the race even though I lost. So I love these tournaments and have had a great time.
Yeah, same for me. I really enjoyed the qualifier format where I really wasn't planning on necessarily participating, but then the qualifiers came up and it was just like, screw it. I mean, just jump in there and kind of like we were just saying, you see all these PBs showing up and it kind of gets you excited to practice and get on the grind a little. And of course, hundo's still dropping as we speak, right? The what people are doing on it. So it's a fun category and it was a fun tournament.
Excellent. Well, Hero, I want to say GG to both of you guys. Again, it was great having you on the tournament, and I'm glad y'all had fun. And honestly, it's cool to close it out with a PB. You can't ask for anything better than that. So congratulations. Hero, I'll start with you just real quick. I want to hear from you and Bressingham about your next round. I don't know if you're aware of this, Hero. I mentioned it on commentary, but you're supposed to go against Sephi in the next round. But Sephi has actually had to withdraw, so you are officially all the way through to the top 16. So any thoughts about that in terms of, now you're going to have a week off to practice or do whatever you want, and then you're going to have a real tough opponent. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but you'll have a tough opponent in that round. So any thoughts on that?
Well, first I want to say that Mass and Tilly, I think that you guys are some serious sandbaggers. I feel like every time you guys raced, you guys were getting PBs. Because I looked at your times and I was like, I was like, these guys are up around 130, and I feel like every time they run, it's like 128, 127, 126. And I was like, I feel like I have an edge against Mass, but he's gonna rip off like a 2-minute PB, and I'm like sweating. And sure enough, your PB was like 130 today.
Well, no, I came in at like upper 127.
That's like a minute.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, you're right. On
That's like
120
change.
PB, yeah.
Yeah, like come on, man. 120 PB in a race. That's crazy. But like hats off. Like I love when people are getting PBs in races and they're motivated to practice and stuff. So GG's to you guys. As for the moving through, I knew that I had Sephi and Tenemy, his other name that I won't say on stream for his SRL name. I was actually looking forward somewhat to racing him because, I figured he would wipe the floor with me, but he's fun to race. But I'm sad that he had to withdraw. I hope it's nothing super serious. But I guess I'll practice a bunch of hundo and I won't run Chippendale Rescue Rangers for the next week and a half. That means that whoever I'm racing in the next round is going to be that much better than Sephi would have been theoretically.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sheet. Your most likely opponent would be Cutie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So.
Well, then I'm hoping for like
you should just play Chippendale.
I probably should. Well, I'll just hope for like a Cutie catastrophe.
Yeah, it's hundo, right? We were saying, kind of echoing what you were saying with with a potential upset. Like hundo is just like there's so much stuff that can just go wrong, and like especially playing these guys at the bottom half of the bracket, you gotta expect them to get huge PBs with all the practice they're doing from the tournament, and it really doesn't take too many mistakes for you to to get the upset. So that's true when you're the underdog too. So anything can definitely happen.
I think Cutie could fall through like all the run rip items, like like all of the crumble block items, like Gauntlet, the GT missile, Mickey Mouse. I think he could fall through every single one of those items and still probably sub 120. So that puts me in a world of hurt. But it'll be fun. I've raced Cutie before. I think I raced him in all bosses, and it was a fun race. So this is almost like all bosses, except you get all items.
And there's no spore spawn. I mean, you could if you want to, I guess.
We steal his item. Does that count?
Sure, I'll give it to you.
And real quick, I'd like to follow that up for Bressingham as well. Bressingham, you'll be facing Mr. Guy Average. And I didn't even realize this. You guys are actually in my portion of the bracket, so that's cool. Guy Average is a guy who's had a great performance in the multi-category tournament a few months ago and has really put up some good times in hundo. So, but you've been improving very quickly, and you had a really impressive run tonight. So, what do you think about your matchup coming up next week?
I'm really excited. I think that I sort of have no chance unless Guy Average makes a couple multi-minute mistakes. But I'm really looking forward to it because I look up to him as a runner a lot. I've watched a lot of his play. He's fantastic. So I'm really happy about that. I think it's going to be fun.
Excellent. Well, at this point, I will turn it over to all of you to have any closing remarks, or if Duck has any other questions.
No, I think that's it. Just I want to congratulate everyone on a real great run. Three PBs. That Hero obviously just taking it easy today apparently compared to the rest of these guys. But GG's to everyone. Like I said, really great race. Seeing just so much like you guys on top of each other. Tilimorf and Mass just had really made you guys work for it. So just great run to kind of kick off this first round.
I just want to say thanks and keep putting on these tournaments. I'll keep joining.
Agreed.
Yeah, this was awesome. I think I just want to echo that I really loved the qualifying format, and I think that even though we're kind of getting dumped into the thick of it in terms of like how the skill ceiling, I guess, is kind of ramps up quickly. But I'm not thinking of it that way. I'm thinking of all the opportunities that I had to play before the bracket started. So this is like the fifth round, sort of. So yeah, this is a blast, and thanks to the organizers and commentators, and this has been awesome. And thanks to Mass and Tilly and Bressingham for the race, and Duck, and you guys are awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Thanks, Hero, for the race. Good job, Bressingham, Tilimorf, Duck, and Kip. Thanks for the commentary. Looking forward to going back and watching it again. And yeah, let's get another tournament. I know you guys are always thinking about the next one, so that'll be fun.
I think Bress is the only one who hasn't said anything. You want to wrap it up?
Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be part of this. It's amazing. I had so much fun. Tilly and Mass, you guys are amazing for the massive PBs. Just great job, everyone. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, and it was a lot of fun doing some comms with you, Duck. I will let you close us out, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There is one more match. I guess technically today it's going to be 2 a.m. Eastern. It's Maniacal versus Chris Ofolo. It's 2 a.m. Eastern. So for all you night owls / West Coasters / Hawaiians, if you want to come check that out, I will be commentating that with Tracy tonight. So it should be a good one. You might get to see Maniacal cut me on stream with me on comms. So that should be a pretty fun one if anyone wants to stay up late for it. But yeah, it was great doing this with you, Kip. Always a pleasure. And I wish everyone to have a good rest of your night. And I think that's going to do it for us.